So I guess this is a good transition period to start talking a bit about It Steers Back, and I guess what all goes into this sort of game. As you said, like we were talking about reusing assets, the natural thing about it being an RTS is that you can kind of like you're building kind of the same things and you're using the same soldiers in every different scenario. So you can kind of like definitely just keep using the same things throughout the whole game. The settings obviously have their own like challenges and things like in a certain case, like you have an objective that is totally different from anything you've seen before. For instance, in yours, there's like the ghost ship at the end of the current um, iteration of the game, which is never seen before that. But otherwise, it's essentially the same couple of enemies and soldiers and houses or bases, whatever you call them. What's your strategy and how's it been for you to kind of plan all this out? Because I'm assuming there's a lot of planning before implementation.
Yes, lots. Generally, it's I have an idea, and then I ask our coder how easy it would be to implement, and we usually brainstorm our pipeline based on what is the easiest method. So when it comes to like the Hlavgasting, the ghost ship at the end of Tower Call, we had that system implemented early in the prologue. So the first we integrated horror elements into our game by having the first boss fight be a chase scene. You encounter all these small enemies across the board, and then you encounter Clamor, this almost Lovecraftian like entity born from the void, and it's the size of city blocks. And it's coming out of the darkness, and there are strange tendrils, and you don't know what it is, and you just have to get away from it. You just have to escape. So we were putting a lot of focus into optimization early so we could have highly detailed, like you can zoom in on all the little soldiers and they all have all their little animations, but also have a tile system where you can zoom really far out and have bosses the size of city blocks as well that are fully richly detailed. And we spent a lot of time looking at other 2D indies and assets and sprite sheets to figure out how to work that up and how to optimize it. And so it was pretty important to me early on to have like 4K sprite sheets, like have sprite sheets that would work and run on a toaster in like 4K. So you can have like fully animated bosses and all the rest of it. I saw Cuphead and got really jealous. That's what it was. Like I saw like those really rich 2D like assets, and I was like, "How are they doing that? It's possible." I want to know. We realized after playing with it, and play is really important, that we could use those boss assets for all sorts of things. So now we're focusing on implementing like big like electric gates, that signal the way, like where you're supposed to leave in the level, and giant vaults that you have to break open to find these ancient artifacts, that will upgrade your armies. And all of those assets are using the same like boss file. So like the boss layer in the game is the 4K like assets, and they can be literally anything. We can paint them up and have multiple assets on a single sheet, and it saves us a lot of time and trouble, but not short term. Short term, it takes a lot of time, but now we can put whatever we want in the game.